Guyana is known for Kaitro Falls, the Irocrama Canopy Walkway in the rainforest, Marshall Falls on the northwest coast, St. George's Cathedral in the capital city Georgetown, and many more breathtaking sights and infrastructural wonders. But did you know that Guyana now boasts the second longest runway in the region? Here is more in this InfoHub extended piece on the CJIA International Airport expansion project.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
At a length of 3,360 meters long, the extended runway of the CJIA International Airport has now become the second longest runway in the region. The lengthened runway can now facilitate jumbo jets landing and turning without any hindrance.
So therefore, you have this here plus when you go on the other side, is an actually like a kilometer of additional kilometer of runway.
The entire runway will be completed by March 31st.
Because the jets will start off from here, so therefore, so you know that the air comes out. So it's going to be covered over, so not dust come, but it's just be called a blast pad area.
So the extension is 1090 meters, but the runway, when it's completed, is 11,024 feet, which is the second longest. In terms of meters, 360 meters.
Chief Executive Officer of the CJIA International Airport, Ramesh Gir, explains that the extension of the runway was outfitted in line with international standards.
The depth of it is much more than the existing apron. And where the apron is located and where the tail of the aircraft end up, it has to be a certain distance away from the taxiway and the main runway. So those were the considerations that we had to take into account when building out this area.
The runway is being extended by China Harbour Engineering Company as part of the CJIA expansion project.
Extending the runway was no easy task though, as explained by Minister Patterson.
We actually had to bypass and redo some creeks, diverse some creeks to be able to build up this. And what had happened, I think, at the end of 2017, I think, was it, or mid-2017? When was it? When we... June 18, 2017, when this year, what happened is because of that, probably where we're standing or somewhere close where we stand, it slipped this side. Somewhere there, right? So therefore, because of the creek in the water, so we had to start from again in lifting. You can't just do it once. You gotta. So that's how come that side is finished and this one wasn't finished, because we had to build it up once again and then have the compaction test and those things like that before we allowed them to proceed. But all here was just swamp.
Engineer Isan Hong from China Harbour Engineering Company conducts a walkthrough of the runway construction thus far.
First step for our project is remove the humus and backfill sand. And this one is our second step is for the wick drains and sand column. So after, and we backfill sand layer by layer. And also, after backfill sand, we will flotation. 15 meters done, compacting the sand. And after that, we put the gel grade. And then we put the CABC and asphalt.
On to other developments at the CJIA. The arrival area has been upgraded significantly to ensure quick and hassle-free processing of passengers.
We're in the check-in area, and At present there are 32 counters, which is an increase from the 20 that was before. There is a cube system where any airline can operate from any counter. So there is not an issue where an airline is occupying a particular area. Any airline can occupy and work from any counter.
The CJIA has also been outfitted with 3 new baggage chutes.
The baggage carts is marked on the ground, and you also have protection for the structural column. So each of the baggage carousel inside, they have 2 chutes that the operators will open and load the bags from here. And what we have added now with this design is that the bags do not come back outside, because there's always that concern that the bags maybe come back out. So if you notice, once the bags get in, they're not accessible to the guy at the back, the baggage handler. Once a bag doesn't get picked up, somebody could tamper with it. But now everything is on the inside. So once it is loaded, it's in there. So even if you're a little late in getting to the bag, it's safe in the terminal.
The contract for the extension of the CJIA International Airport was signed by the previous administration on November 11, 2011. The signing and the contents of the contract were not initially disclosed to the public. According to documents from the CJIA, 4 options were presented, and the most favorable initial design would have cost the government of Guyana US $181 million. However, due to the cap on the borrowing amount, the project contractor, China Harbour Engineering, Czech, modified the design. Funding was as follows: loan from Exim Bank US $130 million, counterpart funding $8 million US, and Government of Guyana funding US $12 million. The reduced cost of US $138 million had implications on the project, since several critical aspects were not catered for or reduced in scope, including construction of a car park to accommodate the anticipated increase in traffic, relocation of residents in the path of the extended runway, relocation of the Guyana Defence Force Engineering Corps, relocation of ground handling concession, relocation of fuel handling concession, relocation of the Locklist antenna, relocation of the Guyana Police Force outpost, relocation of the K9 unit and accommodation, relocation of the Special Constabulary unit, relocation of GPL, GWI and GT&T facilities, procurement of the requisite screening and scanning equipment, construction of internal roads and fencing. Minister Patterson says failure by the previous administration to properly negotiate the contract meant that several items in the project were either overpriced or the scope of work was inadequate, a situation that had to be remedied by the current administration. This oversight trickled down and created a delay in the project. However, government stuck to its December 31st, 2018 contractual deadline, stating that it would not extend its current contract with China Harbour Engineering Company, but that the work on the airport will be completed.
We have not granted an extension of time after December 31st, 2018. In our opinion, we felt that the contractor did not have adequate resources coming on to the end to ensure that he meets his contractual obligation. So there are penalties in the contract. We are in the penalty phase, and so it's the contractor's obligation for him to finish the project. So we have said and we've indicated the 31st of December is our contract date, and any works after that, the contractor is responsible.
Minister Patterson says March 31st, 2019 has been given as the new completion date for the project. He says thus far, 92% of work have been completed.
The contractor has submitted a revised schedule. He said that he'll be finished by the 31st of March. We've just noted that, because as we said, the contract period has not been extended. And that's where we will provide. It's in the. That's how we will proceed.
As we backtrack a bit on the relocation of residents in the path of the extended runway, Minister Patterson gave us a walkthrough of what had to be done.
For the CSR, the airport installed water pipes going down for the residents, the persons occupying this area. These lands here, so they were in the way. We relocated, rebuilt them, and obviously, you can see comparatively the houses from what they had to what we think. The undertaking we did is that the house area would not be any smaller than they had before. So the guy there, the Rastaman, he had, it was a board house, but so that's what he got. And so we moved these residents here, and then there are other house lots which we have to deal with. But we made an effort in the project to ensure that the project not only finishes, but the community benefits, that we would not relocate anybody without, even though somebody's previous administration argued they're squatters, we deem them to have some sort of rights. 20 years is a long time for you to be in an area and then deemed have no rights at all. So all of this was done within the cost of the project to ensure that that you could also build a project and live harmoniously with your community.
Works completed in 2018 include the new arrival terminal, which was officially commissioned on September 22, 2018. This has resulted in approximately 548 passengers being able to be processed in an hour by immigration. Incoming passengers at the CJIA highly commended the upgraded facilities.
I feel like it's a very nice modern development to it, from the flooring to the way the ceiling is. It's pretty high. It gives a very nice environment for new foreigners to come into the country as well as existing citizens, and it raises the morale, I guess, of the individuals coming to Guyana. So I do see it as a positive sign.
It's beautiful. I'm very, very proud of what's happening. I'm very proud. I'm happy, because the old terminal, I wouldn't say anything bad about it, but it wasn't this modernized.
I am so impressed. We stepped up, and this is so good. Yeah, I just don't know what to say.
I'm back from Shanghai and South Korea. And believe me, when I walk on this floor here now, I'm walking in South Korea, one of the developed countries. And this is a surprise for me this morning. It's beautiful, and Guyana is going somewhere.
It shows that Guyana isn't limited by what outside think, by the label developing country. It shows that there's a richness in the country, and clearly as you walk in, you see it, it hits you. So awesome job, Guyana.
There are now functional escalators and elevators, the 3 baggage carousels in operation, and enhanced luggage scanner in customs. In the first quarter of 2019, a business lounge and several duty-free concessions will be available.
With the new infrastructural developments at the CJIA, Guyana is now poised to become a major transport hub in the region, while the new facilities create opportunities for business and commercial gain. This brings us to the end of this edition of InfoHub Extended. Thanks for watching, and do join us again.